Hi there. This morning I am in Osoyoos, British Columbia. I haven't been doing any language learning for the last 3 days. I've been enjoying the sunshine and the wine. This is, I think, it's Lake Osoyoos behind our motel. And a lot of people don't know that we have a great wine growing area here in the interior of British Columbia. It produces excellent wine. And it made me think, so today I'm not even going to talk about language learning, but I'm going to talk about international trade, because just like languages, trade is all a part of how the world has become smaller, and the standard of living that we enjoy, the fact that so many people in India and China have come out of poverty, and in other areas, the quality of our life today depends on international trade. There is this thing called comparative advantage. So, for example, in the trade of steel products, the United States exports more steel to Canada than Canada does to the United States. But there is still a significant flow of... Canada is the largest exporter of steel to the United States. Why? Well, maybe it's because certain steel mills produce certain types of steel, which the Canadian mill might sell to the US, or the US mill might sell to Canada, or maybe a certain steel mill is located closer to certain US consumers, or vice versa. And all of this improves the standard of living because it's efficient. An efficient economy benefits us in so many ways. So the reason I talk about that is two, really. One is I see a tweet this morning from President Trump saying how he's going to come to Canada now to defend the US against all the evil countries of the world, because the United States has, quote, according to Trump, the worst trade deals ever made. The worst trade deals ever made. I was in the forest industry, am in the forest industry in Canada, and the United States slammed Canada with an unfair, basically, trade agreement that forced Canada to reduce its market share from 36% to 25%, because the American forest industry lobby was able to persuade congressmen or whatever that that was in the interest of the Americans. It wasn't in the interest of the American consumer, but it was in the interest of the American forest industry lobby, and on and on. And this is the nature of trade negotiations. You have lobby groups in different countries that either try to protect certain industries or try to provide advantage to certain industries, and governments kind of pick and choose who to support, and then they negotiate with other countries. And to suggest that the United States has the most unfair trade agreements ever is beyond childish. And relating it to wine, I was watching TV, and this person, Kevin McCarthy, who I think is a leading Republican in the States, said, and when asked about why are you slamming Canada with steel and aluminum tariffs, and of course the reason provided by Trump and gang is that it's somehow very important to security, which is completely ridiculous, because the United States buys not only steel but sophisticated electronic equipment from overseas suppliers from Japan and elsewhere, so that they're no more at risk by buying Canadian steel than they are by buying Japanese technology. But leaving that aside, he said, no, you know what the nasty Canadians do? They won't let us sell our wine in Canadian supermarkets, Kevin McCarthy tells his American audience. Well, the fact of the matter is there isn't 1% of Canadian wine that's sold in supermarkets. It's overwhelmingly sold in liquor stores. And in liquor stores, American wine is prominently displayed in the American section, along with French wines in the French section, and Italian wines in the Italian section, Argentinian wines in the Argentinian section, as well as the Canadian domestic wines. But the impression created by McCarthy is somehow Canadians won't let the Americans sell their wine. The U.S. has 15% market share in the Canadian wine market. Canada sells no wine in the United States. The truth is that very recently in British Columbia, one province, the government introduced the sale of wine in supermarkets. and, in my opinion, very unwisely said that we will only sell BC wines in the BC supermarkets. And this was done for political reasons, because there was a resistance to selling wine in supermarkets. Whatever the reason, it's a bad idea. Protectionism of whatever kind, buy local, just as in the United States, buy American, government procurement in the United States has to buy American. All of this is wrong, in my opinion. Why should the government of BC tell me what wine I can buy in the supermarket? But for McCarthy to suggest on television, CNN, that somehow Canadians are preventing Americans from selling their wine in Canada is also very misleading. So it's very discouraging to see all this hyperbole and distortion around what really should be a cause for, rejoicing that we are able to trade with all kinds of different countries and improve our standard of living. And where there are specific issues, like the fact that the BC government decided to limit supermarket sales to BC wines, go to the World Trade Organization and fight it. And the BC government will be forced to remove it because it's a totally unreasonable provision. Anyway, there you have it today. Not about languages, but about trade, about relationships between countries and economies, and we all benefit from it. Bye for now.